7.3 Citi FM. Relevant radio, always.
Hello, welcome to another exciting edition of Business Today with me, Vivian Kai Lokko. This afternoon, we are at the office of the CEO of the Ghana Investment Promotion Center, Mrs. Mawuena Trebarh. We're looking at Ghana's investment portfolio so far. How well have we done? You know, current issues to do with taxes, to do with trade, to do with the bigger economies around us. What is the current situation? What is the future looking like for us? We'll look at all these questions and hopefully get answers to them when we're speaking to the CEO now. So, hello, Mrs. Trebarh. Welcome to Business Today on Citi FM.
Thank you very much indeed, Vivian. It's good to be here.
Great. So tell us, how are we doing so far as an investment destination?
Well, I mean, I think obviously when you're talking about investment promotion, you have to situate it in the global context first. And as you know, in general, FDI inflows across board have declined by about 16% as of 2015. Having said that, however, we also need to look at what we have been targeting as a country. And I think the first measure, if you will, of assessing our performance would probably be the Africa Competitiveness Report of 2015. On that score, Ghana ranked 111 versus our close compatriots from Ivory Coast, 115 versus Nigeria, which was 127. So comparatively, if you look within the West African context, we are trying to ensure that within the continental scope, Ghana is still seen as an interesting place to do business. And on average, over the last 4-year period, we've been in excess of $4 billion per annum. I think that what accounts for sustaining the level of FDIs are two things. First of all, our ability to attract interest from the domestic business community, because those are the people who are the true ambassadors of investment opportunities in the country. And so as a center, it's been very important for us to reach out to the Ghanaian business community, make sure they know about the investment opportunities, they're aware of the services that we can offer. And that, of course, then allows us to attract interest from the international business community. So institutes like the Milken Institute for Assessing Global Opportunity have ranked Ghana as 116, 77 versus Ivory Coast, which is 116, versus Nigeria, which is 118. So again, looking within that context, we do look good, if you will. And of course, we have other things going for us, peace and political stability, which remain number one for every investor. And especially because Africa has become such an exciting growth pole, it's important that we showcase the things that differentiate Ghana from other countries. So yes, that's very exciting, and obviously we're pleased to continue to see that progress. But it's important to look still further at other areas in which we can create more efficiencies and sustain continued interest in investing.
Right. It's interesting you spoke about the peace and stability, which we've used to tout our achievements, push the investment destination agenda for Ghana. But recently we had 2 Gitmo prisoners coming into Ghana, and a lot of people said that may affect our investment agenda because it wouldn't push the safety agenda properly. Don't you think that move would affect our investment agenda?
Well, Vivian, we always have to look at the statistics and be very dispassionate when we're assessing the impact of any decision, whether it's political or non-political. And for us at the GIPC, we only have the numbers that tell us about the quality of the inbound delegations that are coming into the country. I think it's important here to highlight that when you find inbound delegations of on average 25 business people, what that indicates is that a great deal of work has been done for people to purchase tickets and fly all the way to this side of the Atlantic to come and look at specific investment opportunities. So it's important to note that when you see delegation after delegation. We've hosted the French, we've hosted the Turks, we've had delegations from England come into the country back to back to back. That is because we were able to showcase specific investment opportunities. Statistically, as I said, we've registered about 39 projects in the first quarter of this year, and they are estimated at about 248 million US dollars. If you think about that also in the context of the initial capital that's already been put into those investments, so we're talking about 411.4 million. Those sorts of increases demonstrate that there's continued interest in investing in Ghana. The business community, both domestic and international, still see this country as a safe place to do business. And so the statistics then inform the rest of the things that we have to do. So yes, of course, there are various decisions that government will take, but we look at it in the context of the numbers, and that suggests to us that Ghana is still seen as a very safe place to do business.
Right. Now, recently, though, there have been a lot of talks about Ghana and the Ivory Coast, and who is attracting much or more investments into the country. Now, there have also been reports that quite a number of companies, including local companies and foreign companies, are relocating to Ivory Coast because of the economic challenges in Ghana and the tax regime, etc. Now, you have the statistics. You know who is coming in and who is going out in terms of investment. What are the statistics saying? Are people actually relocating to Ivory Coast, be it local or foreign, because of these challenges?
Right. So let me explain in the legislation. Every business that sets up in the country is required by law to register with the GIPC. But beyond the registration, there's a monitoring and evaluation team. And they're required to follow through with the investor. So it's not just a matter of registering and then you go off and do something else. So it is the statistics from our monitoring and evaluation team, including what the business community sends to us, again by law. Every quarter they're required to report to us on how they're progressing with their investment. None of our statistics show that any of the companies that we've registered have relocated or have left the country. And obviously the benefit of having monitoring and evaluation institutionalized in our operations is that we're able to track carefully the issues that companies are facing. And we're able to be very hands-on in working with them through the challenges. And that is not to discount the reality that there are challenges. I think everybody agrees. We've had issues with power. We've had issues with access to utilities. There have been a number of challenges with land access. But these are not new issues. Our job as a center is to make sure that we can facilitate the process and make it easier, one, and then two, work very closely with our sister institutions. So you'll see that institutions like the Registrar Generals, the Ghana Revenue Authority, various investment promoting related agencies are all introducing new technology to try and create more efficiency. We as a center are trying to work very hard on setting up our one-stop shop so that it makes things easier for the business community, even as they are challenged to deal with some of the issues that have prevailed, not just within the Ghanaian context, but globally. So our records haven't shown anything of that sort, but I think we're also quick to recognize that there's a tremendous amount of work that goes into monitoring and evaluating to ensure that even if people do have issues, we're able to support them to overcome them.
Okay. Now, the Trade Minister, Dr. Ecospio Garba, recently announced, still to do with issues of relocation, that a number of Chinese companies have been in talks with government, that's government of Ghana, into relocating in Ghana because they feel they'll have much better access to raw materials and etc. But there are two schools of thought over this development. One say that it is not a good idea for us because you see the Chinese really take over. The others say that, well, this is a great idea, we need to take advantage of it. Let's deal with the advantage. How or what moves are you making to ensure that local companies take advantage of this relocation?
Vivian, there are two things we would think about. First and foremost is obviously what factors into our national development agenda. And therefore, in attracting investments, whether they're Chinese, whether they're American, whether they're from the Middle East, how will those investments support us to create more jobs, to introduce new technologies. If the Chinese happen to be best in class in a particular area, obviously, like everyone else, they will be expected to abide by the laws that govern investment. And so the first thing we would do is to showcase the opportunities, not just to the Chinese investing community, but also to the Ghanaian investing community. One of the things we've been very big on this year and last year as well was encouraging the domestic business community to prepare for opportunities for joint venture partnerships. So taking advantage of the interest that the Asian business community, and I always hasten to say it's not just the Chinese, because as I told you, we're taking a very strategic view of how we should target investments. We don't want every kind of investor, and I'm very sincere and open about that. There are investors that His Excellency President Mahama calls cowboy investors. They kick up a lot of dust, they make a lot of noise, but nothing actually happens. We're looking at people, for instance, if you're talking about port facilities. Everybody knows that the Singaporeans have exceptional expertise in that area. They are from the Asian continent, so we would target them. And the result has been, i.e. Singapore opening up office here in Ghana so that Singaporean businesses can come into the country and look at some of the opportunities. The Trade Ministry, through the Minister, will have targeted the Chinese business community for some specific investment opportunities. Everyone knows that they've had great success, for instance, in the manufacturing space. Now, we are obviously interested in supporting investments in manufacturing because it creates a quality set of jobs for our young people. And so the idea and the premise is to look at sustainable impact investment. And obviously, it's very much a team effort. So our role would be to look at the Ghanaian business community, invite them to interact with the Chinese business community if there's a tension on the possibility of some joint venture partnerships. I think we can also leverage the strength, quite frankly, in our legislation. So you don't get to do whatever you want. Inevitably, we have the opportunity to demonstrate Ghana's strength in compliance with our legislation. So you will see some of the repercussions that have occurred for non-compliance. And it's not just the Chinese. And that's why I say for the investment promotion schedule officer, the focus is on who is best in class and what sorts of development indicators can we see achieved. And obviously we'll continue to leverage that. We work closely with various other ministries and government agencies. The Export Promotion Authority, free zones are particularly important in partnering when such investments are being attracted into the country. And obviously our various business associations. I think it's quite exciting to see the level of competition, if you will, from different parts of the world for some of the investment opportunities in the country. What we need to do is ensure that they understand what the laws say are required of them. They understand the implications for non-compliance. And they also understand that there are actually exceptional Ghanaian businessmen and businesswomen who they can potentially partner with. And those are the opportunities that I believe as an investment promotion center will continue to support.